I guess you call your weekend going out in style, being a senior. What was this whole weekend like for you at the GLVC?
Yeah, this was incredible. I think just as an athlete, you want your last game to be, or your last meet or whatever, just to be something incredible because you want to feel like, you don't want to feel like you left anything out. And finishing this weekend, that's exactly how I felt. I felt like I legitimately didn't have any more to give. So just any meet, I can do 4 events, and I'll do them all on the same day. But this weekend, it was like I would finish 2 events and I would be dead. I would collapse into my bed the next day because I really did. I left it all out there, and that's a good feeling to have as you finish up.
A gold medal in the javelin on Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. That was my first event, yeah.
Then the shot put gold medal on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Hammer throw, how did you do in that?
I got 5th place, which was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, I was going to say, how'd you screw that up?
Exactly.
But also a 3rd place in the shot put, correct?
In the discus.
In the discus. I'm sorry, you're right, because you won the shot put.
Yeah.
So those are some major points for William Jewell besides just winning it. That's got to feel great.
It really does. I know that everyone that says that track is an individual sport, but there really is sort of an aspect of team to it because these are the people who I've worked with, and like I want them to be proud of me, and I want to give them everything I have, even if it's just a difference between 6th and 7th place for us. So.
Right. You win the gold medals, the 2 gold medals, but then you find out later on, I would imagine, that you were named the GLVC Female Field Athlete of the Year.
It's kind of a mouthful.
Yeah, but still, that's incredible. And how do you feel about that?
That is such an awesome feeling. I'm the only athlete at Jewell who does all 4. Well, the only female who does all 4, and because I'm from Kansas, and so I can throw a javelin, and they're not worried about me hitting anyone with it.
That's always good.
And normally, I didn't throw javelin most of the year, just because last year I had a lot of pain when I was doing it, and so we kind of narrowed down our scope, and we said, okay, we're going to do 3 meets of javelin, and then everything else will just kind of come as it goes, and that's exactly what happened. And so getting that award just really felt like a huge accomplishment because there were so many excellent athletes, especially the girls from University of Indianapolis. But to be recognized from our little new school, William Jewell, really meant a lot.
How did you find out about it?
Actually, there's an award ceremony, and so at the award ceremony, of course, they give out the you're the champions, and get a big plaque, and then they announce it in front of all the other teams, and so everyone's sitting there. Yeah, and so I got to hear my name called and hear my teammates cheer for me. It's very exciting.
Take us through each event, if you would, a little bit. And let's start with the javelin on Friday. Take us through your throws. How did it feel, and what happened?
Well, as I said, I didn't throw javelin much this year, but apparently not throwing javelin was the best thing that could have happened to me because every meet that I threw it, I threw better than I'd ever thrown before. So that was very exciting. And in the javelin, I was ranked high. I was ranked number 2. But it's the javelin, and so there's not too much pressure because I've thrown it twice this year. But it was sort of a lot of back and forth, my first 3 throws, and so going into finals, I was in 3rd, or I was in 2nd, and then my second to last throw, I was in 3rd, and then finally on my last throw, someone else moved up, so I was in 4th, and there was just this pressure because it was my last throw, and I knew that I could do it, I knew that I could get farther, but I would have to set. I'd already PR'd 4 times just in that event, and so I think it was just sheer willpower of having to throw it as hard as I possibly could and run as hard as I possibly could, and I ended up winning on my last throw. So.
Did you kind of know when you released it that it was a good one?
Yeah, you could. There were some coaching mechanics that my coach and I talked a little bit about, just about sort of releasing higher and whatnot. But when it was flying through the air and it was flying high, that's kind of when I knew.
Well, that must have felt great. But then come back.
Good way to start.
Yeah, then you come back and you win another gold.
Yep. In
the shot, and take us through that.
That was a pretty similar experience. I was in first for the first few throws, and then I ended up 2 of the girls from University of Indianapolis passed me again. One of them, the same girl who had passed me in javelin. And my second to last throw, I knew that I had to throw 13 meters, which is quite a bit farther than I've ever thrown before. And shot puts are heavy. But my second to last throw was my best one, and I finally got over the 13. And luckily, they didn't they didn't reach the charge, I guess.
You must have been walking on air after winning those two events.
Oh yeah, it was a really great feeling, because I think the nice thing about javelin and shot put, they are a little bit less technical than discus and hammer, and so you can just know that like you gave it your all. Whereas in discus and hammer, I knew that I gave it my all, but it was like if I had just lifted my arm higher, or if I had just moved my foot this way, and so you don't feel any of that in discus or in javelin and shot put.
I presume that on Saturday you're going to be walking through graduation?
I will.
How do you feel about that?
It's a little surreal. I think it's just now starting to hit me that, oh, this is my graduation and not someone else's, because I've been to plenty. But I feel in a really good place right now. I don't necessarily feel this, and I haven't, felt this need to get out of here as soon as possible, but I'm also ready for adult life and what comes next.
Adult life, from what you've told me just briefly, it sounds like it's going to be pretty intense. Would you talk about...
It's a little exciting.
Yeah, tell us about what you're doing.
Well, I just found out this week. I will be joining the Army in, I guess, late summer. And I will be going away to basic training, and then when I'm done, I will be a cryptological linguist, which is, again, a mouthful. But basically, I'll go away for about a year, maybe a little bit longer, and take an intensive language course. And I don't know what language I'll be learning yet, but it could be anything from Farsi to Korean to Chinese. And then I'll act as a translator and just for like encrypted messages and I guess some interpersonal translations.
Is that going to be a career thing? Do you see the Army as a career deal?
I don't think so. If I had to pick my dream job, I would probably want to be a public defender. So, I mean, I think that's probably later on down the road. But for now, I think this is a good time to just sort of explore and see the world. And one of the nice things about the Army is that they have great education benefits. And so if I go to law school later, I don't have the pressure of, I have to pay off thousands of dollars of loans, but I can just take whatever job I want without having to worry about the money.
Will your family be here for graduation?
They will.
Tell us a little bit about them, if you would.
Well, I'm from Woodland Park, and I live with my dad and my stepmom. My dad's great. Everybody on the team knows him as Mike Riley because I tell so many funny jokes about him because he just says funny things. And then I have my mom and my stepdad, and I have 2 younger brothers. So I'll have quite the posse at graduation. It's very exciting.
You go into your final week here at Jewel. You're actually your final days. Mm-hmm. Have you had a chance to just kind of sit back and reflect about what your career here and your life at Jewel's been like? And if so, could you share that with us a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, my life at Jewel has been busy, certainly. And I think I have been so lucky in that my last few weeks at Jewel have very much been like the pinnacle of everything that I've wanted them to be, everything that I've worked for. And I didn't even maybe realize that I was working towards them. Like, I didn't realize that I was working towards being Athlete of the Year. I also won Greek Woman of the Year a few weeks ago. And
congratulations.
Thanks. And that was just huge because to me, my memories in my time at Jewel has been so excellent. But to know that other people feel like my time at Jewel has been worthwhile to them, that really means a lot. And so to be able to look back on that and say, wow, this was a really good thing, that's exciting.